Hello, hello, hello. It is Thursday, the 19th of March. I'm just giving, a few people said they're going to turn up today, so I'll give you a few moments before I start. I'm Jill Sannard, I'm a naturopath and mentor, and it is a beautiful day here in Sydney, and I hope the weather is fine wherever you are. So yesterday we talked about what the heck you eat for lunch when you're working from home or you're isolated, and I've got more to add to that. I've had some really lovely messages from people and photos of their lunch, which is pretty damn nice. But today I thought it would be good just to take a little detour into mindfulness and self-awareness. Hello, Helen, thanks for coming back. And so today's about mindfulness and self-awareness, and a little bit on that riff of these are stressful times. We can't change the stresses, but we can change our reaction to stress. And this, was illustrated in brilliant Technicolor to me today. And it made me think that myself and for a lot of people around me are reacting to the current public health emergency as a kind of a grief. There's been disappointments and little and bigger griefs about all the events that have been cancelled. I've just cancelled 4 flights, or halfway through cancelling 4 flights. My lovely friend Helen was going to come and visit me, but we're just going to have to check in every day at 1 o'clock instead. These are sad. These are not an end of the world. There are some bigger griefs and sadness, particularly with an elderly father in another country, and when can I see him next and will he be okay? But something really came home to me today that I'd like to share, and it got me thinking about Elisabeth Kübler-Ross's 5 stages of grief. Now, I know that's an imperfect model, and Fiona, well, hello. Are you in Germany? It's good to see you. And we've got Jane and Helen from New Zealand. This is so lovely. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how I realise I'm walking through Elisabeth Kübler-Ross's 5 stages of grief. And said, this is an imperfect model. It's a scaffolding. We don't just neatly go through stage by stage by stage, but this is how I see it playing out for myself. Stage 1, denial. I can still go to Melbourne on the weekend, even if the event's cancelled. I can still catch up with my friends. No. In the space of 36 hours from last Friday to last Sunday, all the organisers, my friends, my colleagues who are so excited to spend this weekend celebrating a wonderful friendship and collegiate connection, we knew we had to cancel. And there was the sadness. And I went from, well, if the event's cancelled, I'll still go, going, that's not a socially responsible thing to do. There are lots of little denials, but there's also that bargaining. So I was bargaining, I can still go, but even if the event's not on, but I'll see my friends. Bargaining, we do little bargains all the time. If I do this, it will be okay. Maybe I can't go to restaurants to meet my friends, but perhaps I can go to lunch at my favourite sushi bar, or maybe I should just get takeaways instead. The next step is the interesting one, and this is when I woke up. The next stage is anger. And my experience of stress in the past, unfortunately, I've not lost. I have 2 family members who've died. They're not lost, they're dead. And I did notice that when I was kind of deep in the grief and the stress, that sometimes I would feel angry, not at them for dying, but, at the doctor or somebody else. And this morning I had an experience that really crystallizes for me. A colleague was sent me in a small group a message about her being really upset because she'd booked to go to a small workshop interstate and didn't want to go now, and it hadn't been cancelled. And, I was really firing up. I was saying, this person who's doing the workshop is an idiot. He works a bit stronger than that. How on earth can he justify putting you and your family at risk? Touch my face. One, in flying, how dare he say he won't give you a refund, because you don't want to get on a plane. You don't want to be in a room full of people, even if it's a relatively small group. And you know, I spent about 20 seconds thinking about some ways that I could post this across the internet, and then I just took a deep breath and realised, apart from the fact it's not my battle, I realised that that was my anger, and that was where I was placing my anger over this damn virus and events that have been cancelled or not cancelled. And when I realised that, I could laugh and I could let it go. But really, I used up 20 minutes of energy that could have been spent meditating or walking in the sunshine or putting pleasant thoughts into the world or thinking more about today's Facebook Live. Actually, I did. So I really thank my colleague Charlotte for posting that and making me go down this rabbit hole. The fourth stage of grief in the Kubler-Ross model is depression. And that made me think about some friends and people around me who are quite vulnerable, who in ordinary life are prone to depression, who some time in isolation may not be great for their headspace. For myself, what do I need to keep me okay? And, you know, we don't need to go into plans of what may happen or what may not, but let's just say I'm a Virgo, I'm practical, I'm making plans, but I may be spending, you know, some tracts of time on my own if my partner is going to spend time looking after his elderly mother. So I'm thinking about, well, what's my mental health going to be like? I know I'm good for 3 days on my own, and then I start talking to myself and singing very loudly. But what are my plans? Do I need to start taking some St. John's wort because that works for me and I'm not on medication? I would like to kind of flag ahead that if you do struggle with mental health issues and you haven't seen your counsellor or psychologist for a while, it might be a good time to book in. If it's time for a medicine review, book in. Make sure you have access to prescriptions to your medication, prescribed drugs, if they've worked for you and you're on them at the moment. The fifth stage is acceptance, and acceptance is a funny thing. Acceptance doesn't mean, hey, everything's okay. It's a bit like how I started today. In times of stress, you can't necessarily change the cause of stress, but you can change your reaction to it. And acceptance to me means there are happy days, there are sad days, there's disappointments, there's little joys in the moment, but you accept that for however long there is a new normal and you're going to roll with it. So, as I said before, I don't necessarily find these 5 stages of grief to be totally linear. It doesn't mean, hey, okay, today I had anger, so tomorrow I'm going to be depressed, or I'm never going to be angry at something or someone again. But just be aware, if you or a member of your household or your child is arcing up about something that just seems a bit misplaced, it could be about something else. It could actually be about what's going on in the world right now. So thank you for joining me today. Tomorrow in Australia is a Friday, and I will be, I'm just saying that because there's some people in tonight at the moment on the other side of the world, last night on the other side of the world. So I'm going to be back at 1 o'clock again on Friday. And if you have any questions, thoughts, I might get back to the food thing again. Or talking about other things. So maybe talking about some things that are great for our mental health in difficult times. But I'm here if you've got any questions or thoughts you want to throw out. Thank you for showing up. If you'd like to share it, you're welcome to share it. It will be on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook page where you are now. Have a great day or great night, and hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.